Good morning. I'm Joseph Madelon, and I've been so blessed in life. I wanted to find a way to give back more, a way to truly serve you. And together with some amazing people, we've created It Matters, because we believe it truly matters how you start your day. So this message coming to you today from some phenomenal ministers will be motivating, inspiring, and passionate. We know if we can get your mind in the right place, you'll be in the right place for everything God has in store for you. We truly appreciate the opportunity to give you this gift, so please enjoy the show. It is truly a pleasure to bring you today a man who fulfills all of the purpose of It Matters TV, a man whose books inspire, a man whose books guide, a man whose passion and wisdom is truly spirit-filled, a man living his destiny. Please welcome my friend, Bishop T.D. Jakes, to It Matters TV today. Bishop, we are so happy to have you today.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with you.
Bishop, how exciting that we get to talk about destiny, and your new book is the roadmap for us to follow to find it.
You know, when I wrote Destiny, I wrote it because I started writing a book and released a book a few years ago called Instinct. And really excited about finding your inborn instinct and how God has wired us and pre-wired us, pre-equipped us to be able to be who we are. But when I finished the book and people were really excited about it, I thought there's something missing about this book. And it's simple as this. If you see instinct as the metal, then see destiny as the magnet. It is the force outside of us that draws us toward a predestined end. That there is a purpose in this life. So many people live their lives busy, but not on purpose. Surviving, but not on purpose. To understand that there is a purpose and that God has a plan for our lives and that He has a way of drawing us, wooing us, pulling us into our predestined purpose is what destiny is all about. When you think about preparing your heart and your life in such a way that it is not just, let me get up out of the bed in the morning, see what's going to happen. Instead of getting up out of the bed in the morning and make things happen and moving along a path because you know that your steps are ordered and that you have a structure. I start talking about discipline. I start talking about goals. I start talking about mentoring so that we might have an expected end. Success is intentional. It's never accidental. Nobody gets a college degree by accident. I don't know why they gave me this paper, you know? That doesn't happen.
Does not happen.
Nobody wins the Olympics by accident. It is always intentional. So when you can get people to be intentional with their lives and focused on their purpose, destiny begins to woo you into a place of fulfillment that has nothing necessarily to do with profit. It has nothing to do with presentation or popularity. It has everything to do with understanding that you are on course on the trajectory of destiny. And I really spent a lot of time really researching some of the best and brightest. I got to spend countless hours with people like Mrs. Coretta Scott King in her house, going through her memoirs, listening at her talk about what it was like to be her and what it was like to be Martin's wife. And one of the things that really struck me is that she knew who she was. She knew where she was going. She knew what she was meant to do. We never saw Mrs. King out of character. I mean, we always saw her within the context of who she was. She understood her purpose and her destiny.
Bishop, for our viewers who aren't so, let's say, led or blessed, the voice isn't so loud, it's not so clear. How do you tell someone who either is off track or has never been on track how to settle down and get back on?
You know, I think that God is there if you seek Him, and purpose is there if you seek it. If you look beyond just the distraction of survival, the distraction of day-to-day responsibilities and busyness. We are so busy, B-U-S-Y, that we never really do the King's business, that we don't really find out who we were really meant to be. And I think that the clues, I talk about how destiny leaves clues. There are clues inside of you that when you do this, you get fulfillment. When you do this, you get energy. When you do this, you get creativity, you get ideas. Those are the things you want to mark down and underline and say, ooh, I need to do that again. There's something about me that when I do that, I shine. For somebody else, it's drudgery, but when you do it, you get energy. That's destiny. When you find yourself that you have the skill sets and the inborn instinct to respond to the challenge at hand. What is the difference between the people who stand there and watch a car wreck and the other people who dash into the wreck and snatch people out of cars? You know, there is an instinct inside of us that makes us respond differently when we are placed in different atmospheres. Most of us never spend time studying ourselves to find out what motivates you, what intrigues you, what inspires you. In my book, Instinct, I talk about dating yourself. Ask yourself the questions you would ask somebody if you were on a date. How are you? What interests you? What excites you? If you don't know you, how can you explain yourself to somebody else? Destiny is waiting for you to pay attention to the clues that are in all of us, whether you're deeply spiritual, partly spiritual, or not at all. You're not an accident. You're not a mistake. Regardless of the circumstances of your birth, there's a plan for your life, and when you live on that plan, you have purpose.
Bishop, I cannot wait to read your book. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Glad to do it.
Please welcome my friend, Pastor Charles Thompson. Pastor Thompson, tell us about your ministry.
Good morning. I'm Apostle Charles Thompson of Genuine Love International Family Ministries. We're located at 18200 Northwest 22nd Avenue in Miami Gardens, Florida, the place where love abounds. Please come out and join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. for a word of love and peace.
Thank you, Pastor. We're looking forward to your word today.
Good morning. It's a blessing to be here with you once again on this show. I want to talk to you. I came to bring some really good news for you this morning. All of us who are the children of God, we are in the best season of our lives so far. If you can hear me this morning, if you're watching this program, God sent me to tell you that you are in the best season of your life. When the calendar switched in this year to the month of July, everything changed for us who are the children of God. God granted us access to the next dimension of His grace, which means that everything in our lives began to increase. We are now walking in a place of more. I can tell you this morning that you have more of everything beginning in the month of July. More favor, more money, more access, more successes. God has given you access to places, access to people, and you have more in your life right now. You are in the right place. You are here at the right time. Therefore, you and I must seek to surround ourselves with the right people. And I want to talk to you this morning a little bit about having yourself surrounded with the right people. We must seek to recognize the people that God has placed on the journey with us for this season. We have to surround ourselves in this season with like-minded people, people with the ability and mindset to add to what God is doing with us and not to subtract. We must surround ourselves with people of a right attitude and a right vision, people who are either pushing us or pulling us forward. If you are right now in your environment, this access that God is giving you, if you find yourself being the biggest fish in the pond you're in all the time, then that's the wrong pond for you. That pond is too small. You need to be surrounded with some people who are bigger than you in all aspects of life so they can challenge you to grow. If you want to get where you're going, if you're always the smartest person in your group, if everybody's coming to you for counsel, for advice, for suggestions, for help, then your group may be a little bit too small. You're not surrounded with the right people. We have to be surrounded by people in this time of life who challenge us. We have to have people in our lives who we deem to be greater than ourselves, people who have accomplished more than us so we can have something to aspire to. The right kind of people are those who have been ordained by God to take us to the next level on this dimension. These people are not people who you will always like. The right type of people are people who make you uncomfortable. They challenge you. They challenge your understanding. They challenge your thinking. They challenge what you do. They want you to aspire to be better. These are not people who think like you all the time, because everybody thinking alike, there can be no progress. These are people who don't always agree with you. If you want the right type of people around you, these are people who will hold you accountable. So many of us get comfortable telling everybody what to do, being in control of everything all the time, and then we get stuck. For this season that God has brought you into, for this great thing that God is doing on this earth with His people, the people of God are about to shine on the earth right now. I'll say this again and will not take it back. When this month July came in this year 2015, God gave us access to another dimension of his grace. But while we're in that grace, we have to understand that we need people around us who are going to challenge us, who are going to make us better. We don't need yes men. We don't need to be in a pond where we're always the biggest fish. We need people who have accomplished more, people who have expertise in areas. We need people from the world, people of the business world. We need to surround ourselves with people who have smarts in areas where we are not that smart. So we have to become comfortable now that we need the right people in our lives. We don't have to like them. People who are right for my life are those people I don't like. The people who I like, they're the ones who are always looking up to me. So we have to become very comfortable in the fact that even these people, these might be people who we might even be jealous of at times because they have done so great. I'm going through a change in my life right now, if I can testify, where God's connecting me with some pastors with bigger ministries who've aspired to greater things, who are doing more than I was uncomfortable at first, but right now I'm becoming very comfortable because they're dragging me along with them. So the right kind of people around you, you need people who are going to pull and push and challenge and say, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. Yes, you should do this. Yes, you should do that. Right now, we don't need yes men in our corner. We have done that all our ministry lives, and you've done that in your life, all of your life. You need people who are going to challenge you and make you uncomfortable, people who are going to tell you you can be better than that, you can do better than that. You need people who can tell you can do anything that you want to do, but also those people who can provide you a way of getting to what it is that you have to do. There are some people out there with the materials that you need, with the resources that you need. These are the right type of people. It's no longer time to be comfortable right now. It's a time to be challenging and to be bold and to step out and take chances and take risks. Connect yourself with those people whom God has ordained to be in your life for this season. This is a great season for those of us who are in God's kingdom. God has given us access to the greatest time and season of our lives. But we have to be prayerful to remind God to send us, and also when he sends, receive those right people, because the wrong people, making one wrong mistake, could derail our whole journey. So I encourage you today to be prayerful, to seek out those people whom God has sent forth to enhance your journey. And if you do that, you'll walk in this great abundance that God has released on this earth. I pray with you now that you would open your spirit, open your mind, receive the challenge that God has placed before you, and connect to those right people. God bless you this morning.
Please welcome my friend, Pastor Chanel Moore. Pastor Moore, please tell us about your ministry.
Hi, my name is First Lady Chanel Moore. I'm the pastor's wife of Bread of Life Community Church, located right here in Miami, Florida. Our services are Sundays at 12:30 p.m. You're welcome to come and worship with us.
Thank you, First Lady. We look forward to your word today.
Thank you. Good morning. I just want to encourage you today. I don't know what you're facing today. I don't know how you feel in getting your day started, but I just want to encourage you today just by telling you a little story that Jesus talked about in the book of Luke. He told the story of a man that was traveling from Jerusalem to Jericho. While this man was traveling, there were some robbers that decided to beat him and rob him and just leave him there on the side of the road, left for dead. Now, there was a priest that passed by. He saw him and he moved to the other side. There's also a Levi that saw him and moved on the other side. Now, these people were typically considered to be the right people. Sometimes there's people in our lives that we would consider the right people. But sometimes the Lord will have someone else to come into your lives just to be there at the right time. The same day, a Samaritan traveled. He passed by this man. When he saw him laying on the side of the road, he was moved with such a compassion that he stopped. He bandaged the man. He bandaged his wounds. He proceeded to pick him up, put him on the back of his donkey, and take him to a hotel inn where he could be cared for. He told the innkeeper, he said, listen, take care of this man for the night. And whatever other expenses that's incurred, I'll handle them tomorrow. The money that the Samaritan paid for this man was equivalent to a day's wage. So, I thought that was such an awesome story of compassion, because the Samaritans are typically considered to be enemies of the Jews. They're total enemies, and the people that will be your friends, or sometimes you expect people to be the right people in your lives. Some people will be expected to do things for you when you're down, when you're out, when you're at your wits' ends. But sometimes the Lord will use those who you least expect. He will use your enemies. He use those who you don't even expect to come and be a blessing to you. So I want to encourage you today to treat people right. Treat them with compassion. Don't forget the bridge that brought you over. Don't forget to do right by even those that you think the least of, because you never know when those people would become the right people in your lives. God will use whoever. He used your enemies. He used your neighbors. He used people that you would least expect at the time when you would least expect it. So be encouraged today. You may have problems with your family members. You may have problems with your coworkers. You may just have problems with people, period. But in your time of need, God is going to bless you with the very right people. God bless you and have a wonderful day.
Please welcome my friend, Pastor Stephen Simon. Pastor Simon, tell us about your ministry.
Hi, we're located right in the beautiful city of West Palm Beach, Florida. Straight way to heaven. You can't miss it.
Pastor, what time is your service on Sunday?
Our services are at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m.
Thank you, Pastor. We're looking forward to your word today.
Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to this segment of It Matters. Today, we want to talk about how important the right people is in your life. I want to make sure that you understand that the right people is connected to a verse in Proverbs that says, if you're connected to wise people, you'll be wise. But those that are connected to fools will be foolish, and they have their own harm that is set for their life. I want to let you know that the right people means that those that you're connected to, you'll become like them. Birds of a feather, they flock together. And oftentimes when you're connected to the wrong people, you have the wrong destination, you have the wrong things that happen in your life. I want to talk about one thing this morning, and treating people as gatekeepers. Not only do you have to have the right people around you, you also want to be the right person. Jesus was all about being a right person. He was the right person to everyone. To those that needed healing, he was a healer. To those that needed mind regulating, he had that solution. You have to be the right people so that the right people can come around you. I want to talk about this man by the name of Naaman, who thought it not robbery to treat this woman who came to him with wisdom about a condition that he could not fix. He knew what it meant to be a commander. He knew what it meant to go around and tell people what to do, but he had a sickness in his body that he could not heal himself. The Bible instructs us that this woman comes, a maidservant, someone who doesn't have a great accolade or doesn't have a lot of notoriety with men, but she had some kind of spiritual wisdom that could change his condition forever. I want to say that your condition is not your conclusion. And I want you to understand that as he treated this woman with respect, this woman gave him some advice that would change his life forever. Why? Because he treated her as a gatekeeper. And when we treat people as gatekeepers, you never know what they can offer. They may not be able to offer you money, but they may give you spiritual advice that would change your life forever, and that would change the whole architect of your life. The whole blueprint of your life would change by this very word. She begins to tell him, I know a man by the name of Elisha. This man literally tells Naaman, go and dip yourself 7 times in that river. Praise the Lord for this woman who gave this man Naaman this word that changed his life forever. We can talk about many instances in the word of God, such as the man with cerebral palsy. Praise the Lord, by these men who carried him in to see Jesus. You need people around you that are going to carry you. You need people that are going to speak life into you and that declare the lordship of Jesus Christ over your life. You need people that are going to declare over you that you will not die, but you will live and declare the works of the Lord. You need individuals in your life that will speak life and not death over you. I want to also talk about maybe your past is horrible. Maybe you feel like you can't make it. Maybe you feel like things are not going the way you desire them to go. I remember a man by the name of Saul who desired to enter by way of the disciples. And the disciples didn't really want to receive Saul. Why? Because he was a murderer. He was a persecutor of Christians. There was no way that they were going to receive him. But there was a man by the name of Barnabas who decided we're going to accept him. Comes to the apostles and says, this man received revelation of Christ. I'm telling you that God has the right people around you. you. You may not understand it. You may not think so, but God has the right people around you. He may use the cook. He may use the driver. He may use the maidservant. He may use someone that you never thought, but God has the right people around you. Stay connected to the right people. As I said before, that as you're connected to the right people, you will become the right person. You need to become the right person. Again, Christ was the right person. People of God, I want to say this to you this morning, that all you have to do in your life is to become a person that literally treats everyone as gatekeepers. You never know who you're talking to. You may be entertaining angels unaware. You must treat everyone with love, kindness, and be that right person. Again, this morning, it matters that you're connected to the right people. I remember a story. My mother was very upset with me growing up. She said, Simon, you have an anointing on your life. You have a call of God on your life. There is something about you that is unique, and you cannot hang with the wrong people. I remember one time I was in the park, and as I was in the park, I was with the wrong people. I attracted the wrong attention as well. With the wrong people, they started shooting at the park. But I thank God that I was not struck. Why? Because there was a call of God on my life. But also, when you're around the wrong people, you attract the wrong things. So people of God, stay around the right people, and God will continue to bless you. He'll take you places that you never thought, and he'll bless you beyond your imagination. God bless you this morning. It matters. Stay connected to the right people.
Please welcome my friend, Pastor Keith Moore. Pastor Moore, please tell us about your ministry.
Well, we're in the beautiful city of Miami Gardens with Bread of Life Community Church, and our doors will be open. Our service begins 12:30 p.m. on Sunday mornings.
Thank you, Pastor Moore. We're looking forward to your word today.
Thank you, sir. I have the wonderful topic on being connected to the right people. This morning, I want to talk about a man named John Mark. Before I dig into John Mark, I want to talk to you about a little bit about this young man. Now, the scriptures don't really tell us how he was feeling or what he was doing at that particular time. But there's a story that John Mark was a young man. Certainly, he felt somehow or some way how we feel today. He's beginning, he's an infant when it comes to ministry. In Acts chapter 15, they was on a journey, Paul and Barnabas. And all of a sudden, Barnabas want to take John Mark with them, but Paul the apostle refused to take Mark on the journey. Now, it don't tell you why he refused to take him, but I believe that there was probably some fears, some weaknesses, some youth that Paul figured that Mark was not ready to journey with them. And Mark is glad that Barnabas was in his corner. I believe in certain stages in our life, we need people to encourage us. There are certain places that God want to take us, that God is going to elevate us in. And sometimes we do not have the experience. Sometimes there's a fear. Sometimes there's a hesitation because we don't really understand the process and the journey. And at these particular times, you need people in your corner, right people connected with you to push you through. Barnabas took John Mark with him, traveled with him, took him under his wings, and John Mark became stronger and stronger. Later, when Paul began to come down from his ministry, as his life began to end, he said in the book of Timothy, chapter 4, and verse 11, he said, "Bring unto me John Mark, for he is profitable unto me now." The same man that Paul rejected earlier, now he receives him at the end, because now Barnabas have took him and he was stronger and he was better. I pray today that God will connect you to people that in the midst of your journey, they could connect with you, that they can help guide you, that they can help you bring the best out of you. You need people like this. We all need them, because at times we need the right people at the right time, at the right place to push us through. We thank God for people like Barnabas that can help us. And here's the great part. His name means the son of encouragement or the son of rest. I pray you become a son of encouragement, that you can encourage somebody to push them through to the next level in their life and in their journey. God bless you. I'm Pastor Moore from Bread of Life Community Church. Hope to see you in Jesus' name.
Please welcome my friend, Bishop T.D. Jakes, to It Matters TV today. Bishop, we are so happy to have you today.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with you.
Bishop, how exciting that we get to talk about destiny, and your new book is the roadmap for us to follow to find it.
You know, when I wrote Destiny, I wrote it because I started writing a book and released a book a few years ago called Instinct. And really, really excited about finding your inborn instinct and how God has wired us and pre-wired us, pre-equipped us to be able to be who we are. But when I finished the book and people were real excited about it, I thought there's something missing about this book. And it's simple as this. If you see instinct as the metal, then see destiny as the magnet. It is the force outside of us that draws us toward a predestined end. That there is a purpose in this life. So many people live their lives busy, but not on purpose. When you think about preparing your heart and your life in such a way that it is not just, let me get up out of the bed in the morning, see what's going to happen. Instead of getting up out of the bed in the morning and make things happen and moving along a path because you know that your steps are ordered and that you have a structure. I start talking about discipline. I start talking about goals. I start talking about mentoring so that we might have an expected end. Success is intentional. It's never accidental. Nobody gets a college degree by accident. I don't know why they gave me this paper, you know? That doesn't happen.
Does not happen.
Nobody wins the Olympics by accident. It is always intentional. So when you can get people to be intentional with their lives and focused on their purpose, destiny begins to woo you into a place of fulfillment that has nothing necessarily to do with profit. It has nothing to do with presentation or popularity. It has everything to do with understanding that you are on course on the trajectory of destiny. And I really spent a lot of time really researching some of the best and brightest. I got to spend countless hours with people like Mrs. Coretta Scott King in her house, going through her memoirs, listening at her talk about what it was like to be her and what it was like to be Martin's wife. And one of the things that really struck me is that she knew who she was. She knew where she was going. She knew what she was meant to do. We never saw Mrs. King out of character. I mean, we always saw her within the context of who she was. She understood her purpose and her destiny.
Bishop, for our viewers who aren't so, let's say, led or blessed, the voice isn't so loud, it's not so clear. How do you tell someone who either is off track or has never been on track how to settle down and get back on?
You know, I think that God is there if you seek him, and purpose is there if you seek it. If you look beyond just the distraction of survival, the distraction of day-to-day responsibilities and busyness. We are so busy, B-U-S-Y, that we never really do the King's business, that we don't really find out who we were really meant to be. Destiny is waiting for you to pay attention to the clues that are in all of us, whether you're deeply spiritual, partly spiritual, or not at all. You're not an accident. You're not a mistake. Regardless of the circumstances of your birth, there's a plan for your life, and when you live on that plan, you have purpose.
Bishop, I cannot wait to read your book. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Glad to do it.